With the looming food crisis, food shortages, possible famines, possible droughts, what are you doing to provide for your long-term food security for you and your family? In today's video, I'm going to talk about some different means and methods of how you can provide for your long-term food security for your family in the event that food is not as available at the stores as what you're used to. In this series, we've been talking about long-term grid down power outages, but there's any number of reasons that could cause a disruption in your food supply. First thing most people think about is growing food. You may be like me and you've got a backyard where you've got plenty of space where you could grow some fruit trees, you can plant different fruit-bearing crops like blackberries, or maybe you live in an apartment and you don't have any room at all except for a small balcony, or maybe you don't even have that and you need to look at container gardening. The important thing is that you do something. Take one step. Maybe you're just planting some cherry tomatoes in a pot and it's on your kitchen table. Or maybe you've got some 5-gallon buckets and you're doing some container gardening. Or possibly even some of these bigger fabric totes that you can go ahead and put soil in. You can put them right on your porch. They drain well. They work great for growing different plants. Everything from beans to tomatoes to squash, zucchini. In addition to having some of the other basic gardening tools, some of the things I recommend are a good pair of hand shears, a small little trowel for planting, having a little rake to be able to rake in and around, pull some weeds out, a good pair of fence pliers. These can have a multitude of uses, but if you're having to build, repair, or construct things for your garden or to keep pests out, these can be invaluable. Now, maybe you're like me, you have a busy schedule, and watering, well, that's kind of a difficult thing. So if you had something like a rain drip watering system, it's going to water your garden for you every day so you don't have to. Sometimes that's a must. Another system I'm playing around with is using simple little IV tubes where you can take a 2-liter soda bottle or something along those lines, poke a hole in it, and you've got gravity feed running down to each of your plants, and you can just adjust quite literally right here how much water you want dripping out to your plants on a regular basis. It'll work independent of whether the power's working or not. It'll work independent of whether the water's running. Of course, you've got to have a way to fill those 2-liter bottles, but it's a great gauge for you to be able to watch and see. And when it needs water, you just simply fill them up. I recommend having a good little watering can so you can go around and water your garden or your plants as needed. You probably have some basic tools on hand for gardening, like shovels, rakes, things like that. Here's a couple of tools that I find work really well. Having a backpack sprayer, whether it's for spraying fertilizer or pesticides or just watering in general, is really good. It's hand pumped, so it doesn't require any electricity or fuel. You just pump it, build up the pressure, and do that. This is another great tool. It's called Grandpa's Weeder. If you have to pull weeds, but much harder for you to bend down and do it, that's a great tool for you to be able to use. Of course, a shovel and a small rake. Having a pickaxe. If you've got to dig some holes to plant trees or any other kind of plants, sometimes that can be invaluable. And then a steel rake, and this is another type of claw, either weeder or tiller for tilling the ground to make it easier to go ahead and plant anything and work that ground a little bit. So it's got a handle and it spins like that. It makes it really easy to dig into the ground. Feel free to throw it in the comments, any special tools that you like to use that make your gardening life easier. If there's something I haven't mentioned that you like to use, or anything that's particularly a favorite, or perhaps something that I've shown you here that you thought, man, that might be really useful, throw it in the comments. Now, in addition to having some of those tools, you do have to have seeds. There's a lot of different ways that you can get it. Something like this long-term heirloom seed storage that's non-GMO. They're going to reproduce year after year. You can do something like this. I keep this as an emergency. Some of them I've harvested and dried myself and kept those from years past. Others I've just picked up along the way, usually at the end of the season when they're on clearance, and I'll grab up a whole bunch of them. You can get them at a really discounted price. They might not all germinate, but I guarantee some of them will. So if you need food in a pinch, you're going to have a way to grow food. How about a way to procure food? Maybe you're not growing it, maybe you don't have the ability to do that, or maybe another way to supplement that for protein is you're going out and you're fishing. Have you got some fishing gear, like fishing poles, some tackle, possibly a little bait net so you can go out and get some minnows? Do you have a crawdad trap, something like this that you can throw in the water and you can catch crawdads? Maybe you don't have any water around you, but you have a plethora of small animals and you've got a small animal trap like this. If you've got squirrels around, a lot of squirrels, gray squirrels, chipmunks, things of that nature, you could use rat traps. Those will work well. Big thing is, do you have a way to procure food or grow food? These are the things you need to be thinking about right now, because when the stores are empty, the shelves are bare, it's too late. And right now, with this looming drought across most of the Midwest and the western states, no snowpack, no rain in sight, fire season is already kicking off. Like, it's shaping up to be a really, really dry summer. And that's going to impact a lot of the crops and the growing, not to mention the wars in the strait that's closed right now, that's impacting fertilizer, it's impacting fuel, it's impacting diesel, it's impacting all those things that is impacting the farmer. And the farmers are not going to be able to grow what they typically grow. That's going to affect the feed for the animals and the cattle. There's not going to be beef and poultry that's available at the stores. So how are you going to supplement that? Are you leaning towards being able to go out and get your own, possibly hunting, fishing, gathering, any of those things, or just simply having a garden of your own? Now, I know a lot of people typically lean towards firearms. There's even just regular bow and arrow, just like this. There's a lot of different options. Of course, I do recommend having a shotgun if you have the ability and the means to do so, because with a shotgun, you can protect yourself, you can protect your family, you can hunt with it. There's any number of game that you can take, whether it's birds, whether it's fowl. There's any number of game that can be taken with a shotgun. You can hunt deer, you can hunt varmint, you can hunt waterfowl, you can hunt ducks, birds. All of those things can be hunted with a shotgun. And that's kind of a one-stop, handles all those needs and everything, in addition to being able to protect your family. Now, if you do have a way to get meat, do you have a way to process it? Having a simple hand crank grinder like this. I know it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, several years ago, I processed an entire elk of all the meat that we got into ground elk, what I didn't use as steaks, with a hand grinder like this. It was a lot of work, but it was possible. You can grind chicken or birds, quail, different things like that into ground meat. It allows you to go ahead and cook it efficiently, spread it out if you're cooking it with beans or rice, and make it into a more hearty meal that you can use for a large family. It allows you to get those things fresh and be able to process them efficiently. Another tool that I've got here behind me is what's called a row seeder. If you've got maybe a larger area, a larger yard, or perhaps we're in a tight spot where food really isn't as prevalent and it's becoming much more scarce. This lawn out here, this is a luxury. It's something we've become accustomed to, but if I needed to grow food, I could do it right here in this yard. It would take a lot of effort and a lot of work, but it's possible. And having something like that row seeder, where you can go ahead and put your bean seeds in or your wheat seeds in, and you can just process a whole area a whole lot faster than planting seeds one at a time, makes your work a lot smoother. Or perhaps you have a field that's not being used, or an open space that nobody uses, or it's public land. If you have BLM or US forest land around you, and you can go ahead and prepare a small plot of land, and having something like that's going to make it a lot easier. I don't know. There's a lot of different scenarios. The big thing is you need to be thinking about your food security long term. My thoughts always go to worst case scenario of a long-term grid down power outage. And I want to make sure that I've got those bases covered. All of those techniques and all of those tools, they'll work in the event of a short-term food disruption. If there's a shortage in supplies going to the farmers and there's a reduction in crops, there's a reduction in the food that's available at the stores, especially the fresh fruit and produce. Or perhaps it's a longer-term event that's more of a famine. Maybe it's just as simple as the prices have gotten too high that you can't afford it. I know there's a lot of families out there that are struggling, and you can really supplement the food that you're eating and the food that you're providing for your family by growing your own garden, or going out and hunting, or going out and fishing. What are you doing today to help your family for tomorrow? Don't wait till the shelves are bare or the prices are too high. Start today. Start growing something, even if it's a small thing of cherry tomatoes, or maybe it's a squash or a zucchini plant in a container on your balcony or on your porch or in your garden. Start somewhere. Start small. Get some practice in. Do the reps. And then when times are tough and times are hard and supplies are dwindling, you won't have to rely on everyone else. You won't have to rely on the system. You won't have to rely on the government to help provide for you and your family. Until next time, keep practicing, keep prepping, and stay safe. American Thrivalist out.